Here we go again. Another major winter storm ready to blast the Bluegrass State over the next couple of days. Everything from flooding rains to heavy snow in the forecast.
Road crews are preparing for another major winter storm. We'll show you how they're getting ready to clear the roads again.
It began with a call of a home invasion in Laurel County. It ended with 2 people injured and now in the hospital.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon to you. Get ready for another round of winter weather. We have a major winter storm taking aim right at Kentucky.
There is a flood threat tonight before it turns to heavy snow tomorrow. So we have declared a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day ahead of this storm. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's tracking it on the First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, guys, this is a big-time storm system. Again, we've been setting the stage for this for the past several days, and now we're into the moment when the storm is getting ready to really start to show itself late tonight, tomorrow morning, with heavy rain that initially starts out the day on Wednesday. Middle of the day, we're going to start to see a switch to snow and especially sleet for several hours tomorrow afternoon. Then as we go into Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, and Thursday morning, significant heavy snows, a good likelihood across much of central and eastern Kentucky. Winter storm warning is out for the entire region. That'll carry us from Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday night and into most of Thursday as of now. This is a very moisture-laden system, so once we get into the snow and sleet side of this, second half of tomorrow, and especially tomorrow night into Thursday morning, I'm talking about a swath of 8 to as much as 14 inches of sleet and snow showing up across the area I've highlighted in the pink here, and that's a lot of real estate. Now, a little farther to the south, we will see more in the way of sleet. Farther south you go, the better the chance you get in on a rare sleet storm that would cut down those totals to maybe a couple of inches, if not a little more, along the Tennessee and Virginia border counties into southeastern Kentucky. But it's a fine line that some areas, especially that 5 to 10 to 2 to 6 area, will be walking tomorrow between heavy snow and heavy sleet. You may hear some thunder and see a little lightning at some point tomorrow night during all this. But as you mentioned, guys, before we get to that point, high water is a possibility. Flood watch is out for the entire area. Creeks and rivers especially prone to some minor high water right now. Do not see this as a major flood event across the region. Live First Alert Defender outside of some showers, very almost spring-like afternoon finally with temperatures around 60. Front though is off to our northwest. That's a big temperature tumble that is on the way later tonight. That will introduce Arctic air and our snowstorm and sleet storm on the way for the next couple of days. I'll break it down in greater detail when I come back in less than 15 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Well, it took days to dig out of the last winter storm. Now across the area, road crews are getting ready to do it all over again.
WKYT's Jordan Valines is live for us in Lexington with more on how they're preparing for more snow. Jordan?
Amber, that's right. Road crews left here about an hour ago. They said they're going to go home and get some rest before tomorrow. Now, so far, they haven't been able to pre-treat the roads because of today's rain, but they did say that today's weather is beneficial to them because it's helping melt any leftover snow on and around the roadways. Road crews tell us that today's 50-degree weather will also help increase the temperature of the pavement, which is beneficial because ground temperatures play a large part in how quickly the snow starts to adhere to asphalt and concrete. All in all, road crews say they're prepared for whatever winter weather tomorrow brings.
Of course, we're prepared. Everybody's still kind of tired from the Snowmageddon, what it was at Octavia, but this one, we're ready for it. We got salt, we have the equipment, and, practice makes perfect, I guess.
Now, road crews will begin working at 12-hour shifts beginning tomorrow morning. Live in Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Now, some cities are using what they learned during last month's winter storm as they plan their response this time around. City leaders in Georgetown held a news conference this afternoon to talk about how they'll handle the snow. WKYT's Garrett Weimer shows us their plan.
Here in Georgetown, Mayor Tom Prather announced that the city and the county are working together under a new interim snow plan to help them respond better to the storm this time around. That plan divides the city into quadrants along Main and Broadway. That way crews can work on all those areas of the city at the same time. Because of the wet weather and rain expected beforehand, though, crews will not be able to pre-treat effectively. But the city of Georgetown and Scott County both say they have plenty of salt on hand to put down on the roads. At a news conference inside City Hall this afternoon, Mayor Prather said they were caught a little off guard by the last storm and want to be 100% ready for this one.
We don't want to fall behind the storm. If the snow comes as heavy as it might, if we fall behind, it's going to become exponentially more difficult. We want to stay on top of the storm as it occurs.
Mayor Prather is asking folks here in Georgetown to park off the streets starting tomorrow morning and going through Thursday evening. That way crews can get through more easily. He also reminds folks only to call 911 for emergencies and call dispatch if it's a non-emergency. In Georgetown, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Also, the emergency management director says they'll have 3 warming centers available if they're needed. Remember, you can stay up to date on the weather anytime. Just visit WKYT.com for the latest forecasts, closings, and the weather ahead. Police received a call for help after gunfire came out of a southern Kentucky home last night.
2 people were shot at a home on Hazel Patch Road north of London. Right now, police aren't exactly sure what led up to that shooting. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is tracking the investigation in Laurel County.
What happened here?
There's just so many unanswered questions right now.
Police say they're perplexed over the series of events that took place Monday night at this home on Hazel Patch Road. A call of a violent act pleading for help brought deputies out just after 8 o'clock.
Apparently 2 intruders had broken into a residence and shot a woman at that residence.
Yet when officers arrived,
there was a lot of confusion as to exactly what had happened.
Police say they do know that 47-year-old Pamela Newcomb was shot in the stomach. 2 hours later, a man showed up at the Somerset Hospital with a gunshot wound. Both are now at UK, and police are scratching their heads as to what transpired.
Could it be a home invasion? Yes. Could it be an argument between people that knew each other? Yes.
And police are still trying to track down at least one more person to try to figure out exactly what happened last night. When we were outside the home, a man drove up, but he ignored our questions. Police say they believe Newcomb was shot inside her home. They say the other man shot, who managed to drive himself to the Somerset Hospital more than 30 miles away, is Ricky Eddie Eversole.
He was from somewhere else, and that's yet to be determined.
Police say they believe that Eversole may have had an accomplice, who are among the people that police are still searching for. Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say so far no one has been charged. Ricky Eddie Eversole is in serious condition at UK. We've not been able to get a condition for Pamela Newcomb. Someone fired shots into a central Kentucky home last night. It happened around 10 at a home on Whitney Court in Winchester. 3 people were inside at the time, but none of them were injured. We're told that everyone was inside a bedroom, and bullets entered at least 2 of the bedrooms. Police say they have no suspects or a motive at this point.
A man is in jail accused of shoving and threatening a judge executive. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Letcher County, where Jack Cornett is charged with harassment, disorderly conduct, and menacing. According to an arrest warrant, Cornett came into Jim Ward's office yesterday shouting and cursing toward the judge and his staff. Ward did not want to comment on the incident when contacted earlier today. And in Laurel County, a woman faces charges for leading police on a chase. The sheriff's office says that Tara Baldwin refused to stop for them and led them on a chase for 2 miles. Deputies eventually used a moving roadblock to stop the car. Baldwin is charged with DUI, fleeing and evading, and other drug and traffic charges.
The Wildcats will continue their pursuit of perfection on the road tonight. UK has a chance to go 30-0 against Georgia. It is the second to last game of the regular season. WKYT's Lee K. Howard is in Athens with a preview of tonight's game.
Hey guys, the circus that is the Big Blue Nation and Kentucky basketball has set up shop here in Athens, Georgia tonight. And let's face it, anytime Kentucky goes on the road, it is an event. The Wildcats have played in front of sold-out crowds all season long, and that will be the case here tonight at Stegman Coliseum. Aside from that snowy trip to Starkville, Mississippi, all games have been sold-out crowds. Georgia comes into this game with a lot to play for. Not only are they thinking upset, but a win could also project them into the top 4 at the SEC and a double bye into the SEC tournament. And also, on top of all that, it's senior night.
Well, they know going in it's going to be a hard game, and so they may focus a little bit more. But every game we play, it's an event. I mean, the only thing that happened was it snowed like crazy at Mississippi State. Thankful it did. because we played about 7-8 minutes that game. And, you know, we had, somehow our fans got in. I don't know how our fans got in and theirs didn't, but that's about what happened.
And much like that Mississippi State game that John Calipari is talking about, tonight will also be a blackout here in Stegman Coliseum, and you can bet there will be Kentucky fans find their way into the seats here to support their Wildcats as they go for win number 30 on this season. Here in Athens, Georgia, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
Lee K., thank you. The Cats' final game of the season is Saturday when Florida comes to Rupp. Israel's prime minister giving a speech to Congress, what he had to say about nuclear weapons negotiations with Iran.
A recall alert for Hyundai owners, the problem with thousands of Elantra models in Better Living.
One city will have to clear snow without their snow plows. How they'll handle the storm after a fire destroyed all their equipment on WKYT News at 5:30.
And that winter storm is on the way to central and eastern Kentucky. We're tracking the potential for high water and heavy sleet and snow when I return in just a moment.
You've got
Team News app.
WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day, one of several in a row that we are tracking with another winter storm across the Bluegrass State. Start you out on your Wednesday. Here's the breakdown. Heavy rain in the morning, possibly some flooding issues out there. If you're in a low-lying or flood-prone area, keep that in mind. Middle of the day and especially late afternoon, northwest to southeast, we see that slow transition to sleet and some snow. Now, many of us likely will not see a whole lot on the ground before sunset tomorrow. It is once we get into tomorrow evening and Wednesday night, we will be talking about heavy amounts of sleet and snow on the increase with significant accumulations of very strong likelihood. Heavy snow should carry us into the bulk of our Thursday as of now with bitterly cold air that continues to move on into town. Winter storm warning is out for basically the entire state of Kentucky for Wednesday through Thursday. This is a high impact event for snow, for sleet, and for travel conditions. Travel conditions, especially Wednesday night into Thursday, absolutely hazardous out there to say the least. Expect snow and sleet, packed roads as a good likelihood across most areas, especially for those folks who get in on several inches of sleet and snow. Pretty good range here of that 8 to 14 inches. That's where the heaviest band is likely to set up here. If you get a little more sleet where you live, you will come in on the low end of the numbers. If you get more snow than sleet, you're going to hit the high end. Southern Kentucky, I expect a whole lot more sleet than snow into this particular area. That's why we have your numbers much lower than your neighbors to the north. Now, can those numbers shift around a little bit? Absolutely. Over the next 24 hours. As I continue to get more data in, we will be updating the numbers and the placement for the call for snowfall and get a last call out there tomorrow at some point. Flood watch is also in effect for tonight into early tomorrow for the potential for at least an inch or two of water. Live First Alert Defender as of now. Just a shower or two out there. It finally looks and feels like March for a change into central and eastern Kentucky. That band, though, and look at that narrow band of precipitation showing up right along the Ohio River and just to the north. Now, that is the leading edge of what is likely to become the heavy rainmaker later tonight and tomorrow. But that front that is pressing in from northwest to southeast is going to get through Kentucky tomorrow, put the brakes on a little bit. That will allow areas of low pressure to develop along that boundary. Here's how that looks. Into the middle of the day tomorrow, we're starting to see that transition now across the western half of Kentucky to sleet and snow. By tomorrow evening late, sleet and snow beginning to take over into most areas as our Arctic front settles into, let's say, the Smoky Mountains, right across the crest of the Appalachian Mountains. That allows that wave of low pressure to then develop along that system and work to our east and northeast. That puts Kentucky firmly in the cold air. So as we go into Thursday with a lot of overrunning moisture, most of that in the form of some snow. Flood threat early tomorrow, then the winter storm kicks into high gear late into the afternoon and through the day on Thursday. By the way, models continue to spit out with that slow moving band of rain tonight, tomorrow morning, an inch or two. That's why we're concerned about some local flooding first thing tomorrow morning before we really get in on that cold air and then the sleet and the snow. And following that up, by the way, high temperature on Thursday of 19 degrees, just off the charts for this time of year. 6 below zero Friday morning. Are you kidding me? Friday's the latest we've ever been below zero in Lexington. It was 2 below back in 1960. we may shatter the all-time monthly record for cold temperatures on Friday morning if we have clear skies. Weekend, it's another weak system coming up as we go into Sunday and Monday. If you're looking for a little ray of hope, next week and beyond, I see we're finally breaking out of this pattern with some 60s before next week is through. Short term, though, it's all about the ugly stuff ahead of us over the next several days.
But that is certainly something to think about. If we can just make it through this
just
last,
make it
maybe,
through there.
yeah, right?
but the next 3 or 4 days is going to be absolutely brutal for this time of year, guys.
Chris, thank you.
A former CIA director will plead guilty to charges that he mishandled classified documents.
The punishment he faces ahead.
We're celebrating the
Let's take a look at the most discussed stories on our website right now. People are talking about a proposal to ban a popular type of rifle ammunition, Rand Paul's victory in a straw poll, and a bill to create transgender bathrooms in schools. You can join the conversation at WKYT.com.
The Israeli prime minister delivered a speech to Congress this morning. Benjamin Netanyahu laid out specific concerns about U.S.-led negotiations to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. He says he's worried the U.S. and its partners will give up too much in the negotiation with Iran. He says he wants a better deal.
A better deal that doesn't leave Iran with a vast nuclear infrastructure and such a short breakout time. A better deal that keeps the restrictions on Iran's nuclear program in place until Iran's aggression ends.
House Speaker John Boehner extended the invitation to the prime minister to speak without consulting the White House or Democrats. Dozens of House members and a handful of senators did not attend. Former CIA Director David Petraeus will plead guilty to mishandling classified documents. He shared the information with Paula Broadwell, his biographer and former mistress. The U.S. Justice Department and Petraeus are asking for 2 years probation and a $40,000 fine. A sentencing hearing has not been scheduled.
A jury has been seated in the trial of the Boston Marathon bombing suspect. 20-year-old Johar Tsarnaev faces 30 charges in the April 2013 attacks. 3 people died and more than 260 were injured. And with the jury now in place, opening statements will begin tomorrow. Tsarnaev faces the death penalty if he is convicted. Edward Snowden is ready to consider a return back to the United States. Snowden has been living in Russia since leaking thousands of classified documents to media outlets. Snowden's attorney says he wants a guarantee of a legal and impartial trial before deciding to return to the States. And around the area, road crews preparing for yet another big winter storm. We'll show you how they're getting ready in Pulaski County. That's on WKYT News at 5:30.
A recall involving a popular car, plus new numbers on teens and dating violence. We'll have those stories next in Better Living.
Get WKYT News and Weather 104.5 The Cat.
It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A recall alert for Hyundai owners. The company is recalling 63,000 cars because a sensor problem could cause drivers to lose power-assisted steering. The affected models include 2008 to 2010 Elantras and Elantra touring vehicles. Owners can contact Hyundai for more information. A new report shows many teens experience dating violence. In a Centers for Disease Control survey, more than 1 out of every 5 high school girls reported being physically or sexually assaulted by someone they dated. 1 out of 10 boys reported the very same thing. Well, there are thousands of people who need to cut out gluten from their diets due to celiac disease. I know firsthand, I'm one of them. But many more people have started to remove the protein found in wheat, rye, and barley from their diet as well. As Holly Furfer shows us, doctors say people who don't suffer from celiac should be careful before cutting gluten completely out of their diet.
When you go to any grocery store, you're likely to see a whole host of gluten-free products. For the roughly 3 million people who suffer from celiac disease, they're a welcome alternative.
They have problem absorbing that or breaking it down, and their bodies develop a reaction where they get a damage of the small bowel. And eventually it could even be fatal.
But in the past few years, there's been a growing trend of people without celiac disease cutting gluten from their diets, saying they had a gluten sensitivity.
After abstaining from gluten, they see a clear difference in their symptoms.
Doctors say you should be tested before giving up gluten completely because those symptoms might be caused by another issue altogether. But what about people who eliminate gluten from their diet and say they feel better?
I'm not clear if that's entirely just because they're cutting out gluten. I think it might be the associated effect of eating a healthier lifestyle.
But before anyone cuts gluten from their diet completely, doctors say there are some things to consider. One is the elimination of other necessary nutrients, and there's the possibility of weight gain. Many gluten-free products are higher in fat, calories, and sugar than their regular counterparts. Most importantly, keep a diary so you can help doctors figure out what really may be going on. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer.
And for more health, education, and consumer news, go to WKYT.com and click on Better Living. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.
It's a major winter storm taking aim at central and eastern Kentucky. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tracking the latest sleet and snow accumulations just ahead.
We're prepared as well as we can be prepared under the circumstances.
A fire last week destroyed a central Kentucky town's snow removal equipment. What their new plan is to tackle this next wave of winter weather.
We deal with it every day. Whatever we get that day, we deal with it.
Crews with the Pulaski County Road Department are gearing up for yet another winter storm.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.